your view when you are with a patient needing to lose weight and who did not respond to lifestyle change modification, and you don't have tools to treat this patient with pharmacological agents? Would you be more prone to consider bariatric surgery or something like that? Is that the question?
Na realidade, sem indicação de
cirurgia. Patients with no indication for bariatric surgery, and when you, for instance, the situation of a physician in Europe now, where there is only left in the market Orlistat, how do you see this challenge? What's the situation which the physician needs to face?
Well, first of all, as a cardiologist, I frequently prescribe diet and exercise also for the cardiac disease. And I also would say that if the obesity problem is more complex than that, then I refer them to an obesity specialist, because my patients have multiple other diseases. I would say in general that to give patients amiodarone, which cardiologists use a lot, and which sometimes produce terrible side effects in people's lungs, or flecainide, which causes arrhythmias. I have seen middle-aged young people being severely brain damaged after sotalol. Just a couple of cases, but enough to scare me. So the prospect of weighing a 1% risk of death is quite common to me. So I would just need a problem big enough for both me and the patient to accept it. So if the only problem a patient has is that he is a bit big, then I would not think of it. But if the problem patient is severely depressed, low self-esteem, with all sorts of back pain, and you need to prove him that something can be done, and then you can start working on other, then I think that both I and the patient might accept this 1% risk.
I have a question of my own for you, Christian. I'm not sure if someone looked at that, but one concern that we have is that when we do categorical analysis of weight loss, for some patients, about 20% of patients or 15% of patients, they do achieve very important degrees of weight loss with sibutramine. So it's conceivable that if we have, for instance, 500,000 patients in Brazil now taking sibutramine, and we have among these about 100,000 patients with very good degrees of weight loss, which would be in the impact on cardiovascular risk if a patient puts on, let's say, 15 kilos.
Well,
are you aware of any data on that, epidemiological data on the increase in cardiovascular risk of gaining 15 to 20 kilos?
Well, there are very good data, among other places, from the Framingham that being severely obese is as dangerous as to be a smoker. So there's the problem is that what to do about it, and I think that there are signs that if you really get a very big weight loss with sibutramine, then I would even think of it as beneficial. The reason I have not taken that perspective is that I'm also here to discuss with your medicines agencies. And medicine agencies have years of experience with dealing with pharmaceutical companies who are very good at coming up with all sorts of explanations as why something that is not good is good anyway. So I have tried to avoid the discussion of theorizing where SCOUT or sibutramine might be beneficial. I've sort of taken the stand, let us accept the risk we found in SCOUT. And even by that perspective, I find that the drug should be allowed to